morning, everybody. Happy Thursday. So Tuesday in math, we talked about doing half past. Now, when we split our circle in half, it points right down to our 6, which tells us that we are halfway around our clock. Now, today we're going to talk about something a little bit different. We're going to continue to split our clock up. Now, when we split our clock one more time, this way, how many pieces do you have in your clock? 1, 2, 3, 4. This is called a quarter. Each one of these sections is called a quarter. Now, the way I remember this is I think to myself, well, I know how many quarters are in $1. I know that there are 4. We also have 4 quarters in our clock. Same way we have 4 quarters in a sporting event. A lot of different things have quarters or 4 pieces. Now, we typically look at our quarters going from our 3 and our 9. So I'm going to erase this here and show you guys an example. Okay. So we know that if it's down to our 6, we say it is half past something. But let's say I wanted to talk about it being a quarter past. Then I would start up at my 12, since this is the beginning of my hour, and I would count to my 3, 5, 10, 15. So my minute hand is going to go to my 3, and then whatever hour I'm choosing, say I want to do 7, I would, since I'm a quarter way around my clock, put it just a little bit past my 7. Since I'm not quite halfway, but I'm not right on it either. And that would be quarter past 7. All right, let's say I want to do quarter past 5. Well, my hour hand, I know, is going to need to go just a little bit past my 5. But if I want to go, if I can imagine my clock being split into 4 quarters, my first quarter is going to end right here. So that's where my minute hand is going to point. And if you're not sure, you can always count. 5, 10, 15. That's where my minute hand should land, if it's quarter past something on the 15. Now we need to look at quarter 2. This one can be tricky because you're talking about the next hour. And I'll show you what I mean. Now, if I want to talk about something being a quarter 2, I've already talked about this quarter. I've already talked about this half. Now it's time to talk about this quarter. So I'm going to set my minute hand up to be pointed at my 9. But here's the thing. If I'm talking about it being quarter to 1, it isn't 1 yet. Quarter to 1. Not quarter after 1 or quarter past 1. Quarter to 1. It's not quite there. It's almost there. So I'm going to point my hour hand at almost my 1. And that's actually a little bit long. Almost my 1. So our quarter 2 is our one that's a little bit tricky because we're talking about our next hour. You don't want to put it after your 1 because then you're actually saying quarter to 2. We don't want that. So I'll show you guys one more example. All right, let's say I want to make it quarter to 4. So that means we are almost to 4. So if I am almost to 4, my hour hand is going to be pointed almost to my 4 o'clock, in between my 3 and my 4. Now I've done a quarter after, a quarter past. I've done half past. Now I need to do quarter 2. So my long minute hand points at my 9. And that's your quarter 2. We are almost to the 4, but we still have that last quarter of my clock to get to. okay? Just remember, your clock can always be split up into these 4 quarters or quadrants. All right, so your task for me today is I would love for you to show me quarter past a time. I don't care what time it is. It could be any one of these 12 numbers, but I want you to write down what time that you're showing me and then show it to me on your clock. Now, I saw a lot of people chose to print off a clock and slide it into a sheet protector, and that's fine. If you want to do that and it prevents you from having to draw out a clock every time, that is a-okay with me. Do it however you want to, but if you enjoy drawing that clock, feel free to do that as well. All right, there's your task. Show me quarter past something. That's what I want to see. All right, you guys check in tomorrow for writing. See you then.